Athens, the 5th century BCE. The city hums like a hive. It is the age of Pericles, of temples rising, of fleets that command the sea. But it is also the age of fear, Persians at the gates, enemies in every shadow. And in this world, tens of thousands gather at the theater of Dionysus, carved into the rock of the Acropolis. The air is heavy with the smell of wine, roasted meat, and burning incense. A drumbeat silences the crowd. Masks gleam in the sun. A man steps forward. He is not just a poet. He is a soldier, a visionary, a prophet. They will call him the father of tragedy. His name is Aeschylus. But who was he, truly? A craftsman of words, a secret mystic, or the first to hold a mirror to the soul of a city? To know him, we must step into a world of blood, gods, and fire. Eleusis, where he was born, was no ordinary town. It was the site of the Eleusinian Mysteries, rituals so secret that even death threatened those who revealed them. In this soil of secrecy and myth, Aeschylus grew. But his youth was shattered by war. In 490 BCE, the Persians invaded. At Marathon, 10,000 Athenians faced an army 10 times their size. Aeschylus was there, shield to shield, spear to spear. Imagine it, the thunder of hooves, the crash of bronze against bronze, the earth soaked with sweat and blood. Victory was won, but scars were left. Not only on bodies, but on souls. He would fight again at Salamis, where the sea itself became a graveyard. To Aeschylus, war was not a tale told. It was lived, breathed, survived, and those memories bled into his plays. But how does a soldier, haunted by battles, transform into the creator of tragedy itself? The answer begins with a single invention. Before Aeschylus, theater was a simple ritual. One actor. One chorus. No tension, no dialogue, just song and dance. Aeschylus broke the silence. He added a second actor. Suddenly, conflict was born. Dialogue, betrayal, a collision of voices. For the first time, the stage was not a ritual. It was a battlefield of ideas. He reshaped costumes, taller, grander, with masks that shouted emotions across the theater. He invented the Deus ex machina, the stage machine that could lower gods from the sky. Athens gasped. This was no mere ritual. This was drama. And what Athens saw on that stage was not just art. It was a revolution, a new way of thinking, one that would challenge kings, priests, and even the gods themselves. And just as Aeschylus needed patrons to bring his vision to life, this channel needs supporters to keep stories alive. Become a member and carry this flame with us, from the past into the present. On a stage darkened by silence, a chained figure groans in agony. It is Prometheus, punished for giving fire to mankind. Lightning cracks, the chorus wails, and the audience feels the weight of defiance. Prometheus is not just a myth. He is rebellion made flesh, the spirit that dares to challenge the gods for the sake of humanity. But why did Aeschylus choose him? Because Aeschylus himself had given fire. He had stolen the flame of ritual and turned it into drama. And like Prometheus, he knew gifts come with punishment. For his boldness, some whispered, he was accused of revealing forbidden secrets of Eleusis on stage. Did he truly? Or were his plays simply too powerful, too close to truths Athens feared to face? The greatest of his works was the Oresteia, the only surviving trilogy from ancient Greece. It begins with Agamemnon, the king who returns from Troy, victorious, only to be murdered in his bath by his queen, Clytemnestra. The stage reeks of betrayal and blood. Then comes the libation bearers, where their son Orestes avenges his father by killing his own mother. Blood calls to blood, revenge to revenge. But then, the twist. In the Eumenides, the ancient Furies rise, demanding Orestes' blood. Yet instead of another murder, Athens intervenes. The goddess Athena establishes a trial. Justice replaces vengeance. Law overcomes blood. This was not just theater. It was democracy itself, born on stage. Athens saw its own reflection, a city learning to trade the sword for the word. To Athenians, theater was not entertainment. It was a duty. Every citizen attended the great festivals. Rich men paid to fund productions as a civic service. Imagine 15,000 Athenians under the blazing sun. Generals, farmers, craftsmen, even the poorest citizens, all hearing the same story, all feeling the same dread. But was Aeschylus guiding Athens or warning it? His plays thundered with questions. What is justice? Can power ever be pure? And what happens when gods themselves demand blood? Athens cheered him, but also feared him, for what he showed was not comfort, it was truth. Aeschylus's birthplace, Eleusis, was the home of mysteries older than Homer. The mysteries promised rebirth, visions of life after death. To be initiated was to taste eternity. And yet, rumors swirled. In his plays, Aeschylus revealed imagery too close to the sacred rites. Was it an accident or intention? Some say an angry mob once tried to stone him in the theater. He escaped only by running to the altar, clinging to the sanctuary. We may never know if the accusation was true. But what it proves is simple. Aeschylus's words had power. Power enough to blur the line between art and sacrilege. Far from Athens, in Sicily, Aeschylus died. And here, myth returns. They say an eagle, mistaking his bald head for a rock, dropped a tortoise upon it, killing him instantly. A tragic, almost absurd end for the father of tragedy. But his epitaph told another story. No mention of plays, of prizes, of fame. It spoke only of Marathon, of the day he fought for Greece's freedom. For Aeschylus, to be remembered as a soldier meant more than being remembered as a poet. His life was theater, but his pride was battle. Of 70 plays, only 7 survive. Yet from those 7 came an empire of theater. Without Aeschylus, there is no Sophocles, no Euripides. Without them, no Shakespeare. And without Shakespeare, no modern drama. His influence ripples through Hamlet's doubt, Macbeth's ambition, and Othello's jealousy. He gave the stage thunderous masks, towering costumes, even mechanical gods descending from the sky. He turned ritual into spectacle, and spectacle into meaning. But perhaps his greatest invention was not technical, it was human. He taught us to look at suffering not as punishment, but as a path to truth. Why does he matter 2,500 years later? Because tragedy, for him, was not despair. It was a revelation. His heroes fall, but in their fall, they reveal the cracks in gods, in kings, in the very order of the world. His plays remind us that justice is fragile, power corrupts, and even gods may be unjust. And yet, in those struggles, humanity rises. The torch passed by Prometheus is the torch of thought, of law, of courage. This was the true fire of Aeschylus, not the flame of spectacle, but the flame of understanding. So here's the final question Aeschylus leaves us. If your life were a play, judged by gods and mortals alike, what story would it tell? If this journey lit even a spark within you, subscribe to this channel. Less than 1% ever do, but your choice keeps alive the fire that Aeschylus once gave to the world.